It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy. The following...
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Fade that, nigga. Shit. Bet the ball. Off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What? You got to have vision.
Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
Well. Gotta get a piece of my.
I just left a lot in this bitch. I'm finna hit the shop in this shit.
You hear what I said?
Yes, bitch, I heard you. I'm pretending like I didn't.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
Joe feet. He looked down, seen his feet, the nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
Plus, I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
Hey, dance with me.
All in your business.
Hold up. You don't know nothing about that shit, bitch.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama, and you...
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky? You got to pray to God and tell God your rent due. Any God that didn't know your rent was due ain't God.
Some people, they feel like you almost have to sell your soul to get fame, or is it just hard work, or is it luck? Is it consequence? Is it?
No, most of us in sold our soul. We just called it something else.
Don't know me what it.
mean to be rude. I don't mean to be out of line. Mean to be rude. Mean to be rude. Mean to be rude.
What's all that noise? Oh, that's just daddy.
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. And
Those
then
lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd. Come with baggage, just not asking we was on.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that.
Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke.
Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah.
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come in. I hit the loot juice and pulls up in the deuce. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come in. I hit the loot juice and pulls up in the deuce.
Do that dance, baby, do that dance, let's work it out.
Ah, yeah, nigga. Ah, yeah, nigga.
Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. All right. Here we are again, another Sunday. Another Sunday and this big illusion. Am I really here? Are you really there? But right now we feel we are, so we're going to vibe as one for a little while. As I said before, I'm going to burn these incense. I forgot to light my candle back there. But I'm going to light incense. It's a good way to kind of keep stale energies away. Just a little lighter at work. I say you should never blow out a fire, you should always shake it off or snuff it. That's just respect. And so, we would give love to the directions, to the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and where we all are in the center. That change bank is a perfect setup for that incident. I think we're gonna get right into the morbid. No, let's see what's happening, everybody. Is it right here? Oh yeah, here it is. Trey Finesse, thank you for coming.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Johnny Oggs, thank you for coming.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
El Dragon Amarun Khan, the Calm.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
And Dr. Sinister.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
That's for Magic in the Olympics. Michael was hot when he said that shit. Caught him off guard. But he's fucking with him, Fucking with him. But yeah, I think we're going to get something caught my eye in the morbid news. Where is it? Maybe I lost it. No, maybe not. I didn't know who the cat was. Oh, okay. Cat from L.A. Law. I don't know if y'all old enough. Blair Underwood. I don't even know if y'all know who the fuck he is. But Alan, L.A. Law and Dharma and Greg actor. He was 82. So I just said Blair Underwood's name. There he is. What was this shit called again? L.A. Law. Actor known for his role, L.A. Law and Drama and Greg. He was always a background actor. Nominee, Golden Globe and Emmy nominee, Saturday Morning, Heart Failure in His Sleep at the Golden. And that's the way to go in your sleep. NBC, which ran from 86 on 8 years and earned him a Golden Globe and Emmy nomination. He was known for playing Drama's hippie father, Larry. Yeah, I just watched that shit. Who ran for 5 seasons. So he had, 8 and 5 kind of celebration for him. 13 years in the business. Also appeared in Thunder Run, North. I don't know what that is. Showgirls, saw that. He also guest starred on The Golden Girls, Lewis and Clark, The Adventures of Superman, Stargate, and Brazilian Isles. He was born in 1942. He moved to New York to study, where he's among the original Broadway cast of After the Rain and Hardin the Seventh. He was also writing, directing, fellow at the American Institute. Okay, he wrote episodes of Hill Street Blues, Heart to Heart, and The Fall Guy, and directed Paris with James Earl Jones. All right, so that's how he looked, but that's how, if you remember, he was mostly in movies. He had, he had the George Jefferson going, the U, for some reason, didn't cut that shit. So, that's the start of the morbid news. I don't know who's next on the morbid news. It was a brother they just showed, though. But I don't see him. Don't see him again. He was on when I first checked in. But I don't see him. It was a young brother that had passed. Let's see. See if I can find him. I don't think so, though. This motherfucker was right here a minute ago, but I ain't gonna trip on it. It looks like all the morbid news, though. It was a young brother that passed, but I don't see him anymore. They took him off. They took him off. So I didn't catch his name, but he was a young brother. I saw that. He was younger than me, but young. So, oh well, that's how it goes. So I guess that's all on the morbid news. Who is this chick? Oh, let's see. Is this 3 days ago? So a chick named Stephanie Colley, she died 3 days ago. British costume designer, Pinky Blinders, Love Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. She was only 60. So she died a couple days ago. Huh. Yeah, his brother's now. Let me see if he comes up here. Y'all see that bullshit with Drake? Talking about he would tear Rosen's jersey down. Fuck Drake. Oh, I don't know who this lady is. That's Terry Garr. Some lady named Julia Hawkins. She broke sprinting records. She died at 108. Let's see if they'll show any more. There's really, I mean, she was 108. That's the only picture they got is a 108-year-old picture of her. Let's see. They just talk about her. I don't know. They don't really get into where she sprinted, but somewhere she was a sprinter. She was 108 years old, and her name was Julie Hawkins. That's all they really giving you. I guess, yeah, I can't tell who she is. That's not really saying much about her. This is who they showing. They show her right here. So she died in 24. Now, who is this cat? Did we do him already? 2 days ago. Greg Hildebrandt, admired artist and illustrator, create movie posters for Star Wars, Clash of the Titans. Oh, okay, I'm gonna get the picture of those. He died. He was 85. Wow. They get old, boy. Be like my mom is 83. When they get old, boy. Okay, here's some of his art. All right, his art was pretty funky. He was born in 39. Without having access to film, stills, photos given a very tight deadline. The brothers painted style B poster of the UAK release of the Star Wars, with Greg's wife serving as model for Princess Leia. Credibly, the first version of it, without the droids, was created feverishly nonstop. Just over 36 hours, so it didn't have them in it. We made those changes and it went off. A promotional poster, US release, been created by Ting Jung, but executives thought it was too dark and asked the Hildebrandt for a revision. So they revised dude's work, and this is what he came up with. This is really cool. I've seen this part right here just in a poster by itself, without the writing, and it is pretty deep. They were born, so it must have been a twin. Their father was a Chevrolet division chief, and their mother a homemaker. Wow. And they started drawing comic books at a very young age. We had our own stories we would write. They took 6 months class at art school and began painting professionally in 1959. And 60-some years ago, action animation of medical relief ship award-winning. So moved to New York to work for Archbishop Sheen, made documentary films, chronicle world hunger. Okay. Lord of the Ring trilogy was published. Tim would do some thumbnails and I would do some thumbnails together. Okay. So experience of this is Clash of the Titans. If you saw that, this is the movie poster from Clash of the Titans. So yeah, that's the morbid news. Blair Underwood is a very underrated actor. Yeah, there's a speech out there that he gives that's been getting a lot of steam lately. That Blair Underwood gives. That's been getting quite a bit of steam. So I can't really. He's a pretty good actor. Yeah, I can't really say I got any beefs with him. He's a pretty good actor. I ain't got really nothing negative to say about him. His body of work was pretty short. Well, I mean, it was like he was an 80s dude, and he's probably my age or slightly younger or slightly older. So, man, I think I don't know if last time I was on it snowed. We had got some snow, but today was just snowy and rainy. Did go out to the outlet and did a little shopping. It's funny how Calvin Klein Macy's and Macy's, TJ Maxx, and Marshall have better Calvin Klein clothes than what they have in the stores. If I bought Calvin Klein, it would be in Macy's or TJ Maxx other than the store. But they had like 60% off. But they had some cotton underwear, but they was charging a grip. They was charging, normally it was 70, but it was giving you almost 50% off. So it was still like 38 to $40 for a box of briefs. Well, I can get cotton underwear from Target. I can get it from Walmart for about $20-$25. That seems more reasonable. That seems more reasonable to me. But $8.50 a pair of underwear, and I mean that's not a whole bunch, but this is okay. Here's another morbid story. Joey J, first little leaguer to go to the majors. Wow. 53 became how old was he? Okay. Who in 1953 became the first little leaguer to reach the majors and went on to win 99 games in 13 seasons, pitching for the Milwaukee Braves, Cincinnati Reds. He died in September, so he died almost a month ago. Why are they telling us now, though? Baseball's over. But still, posing presence. He's 6'4", overpowering. He was signed by the Braves in 53 before his 18th birthday and got a $20,000 contract and a $50,000 bonus, becoming a bonus baby. Wow. Under old rules designed to discourage teams for high spending on unproven prospects, the Braves were required to keep him on the team for 2 years. Jay made his first start on 53 and pitched 7 shutout innings in a game shortened by rain. He pitched sporadically during the 54 and 55 season when the Braves pitching staff featured Hall of Famer Warren Spahn, Bob Buell, and Lynn Burdett. It was dreadful. I fit in nowhere. No one was deliberately unkind to me. I was just ignored like the bat boy. He was sent to the Braves, the Wichita, gained experience, later returned and posted a 7.5 record and a 2.14 ERA, 1.4 average for the Braves for the 58 winning team. But the Braves lost to the Yankees and Mickey Mantle in 58. He was traded to Cincinnati before the season, and his first year with the Reds won 21 games and only lost 7. And he's tied for the American League in wins and shutouts pitched. A one-hitter facing the Eagles. The Reds went on to win the National League pennant, but lost to the Yankees in Game 5. Pitching the same way, he told on the cover of 61. No one taught me any new pitches. It's different that I'm getting a chance to pitch with the Reds. It's hard to work much when you have guys like Spahn and Burdett and Buell around. I started 11 games and won 6 of them. This year I started 34 games and he won 24. Quickly won himself a reputation as an eater and sleeper of championship calendar, wrote in the Sports Illustrated. He's seldom seen awake without a candy bar or soft drink he would eat bullpen during games. He won 21 again in 62. Red finished in 3rd place, but he struggled them out 63 and whoa. And when he posted 11-11 mark, the Reds finished one game. Who went on to win, so St. Louis won it. He had a record of 99 and 91. Wow. The team's first season in Atlanta was introduced to the Cincinnati Hall of Fame. Okay, so he played with Ruth. Jay switched to pitching. Here we go with the Little League stuff. At Woodrow Wilson High School, his father, Joseph J., pitched for the Rochester Team International League and with training camp, Boston Braves. He later become Jay. Okay, so that's remarkable because you would think that more people that had played little boy baseball somewhere. And so for him to be officially under the banner of Little League, when we know people like Babe Ruth and others had played little boy ball too. Oh, what's up, Blue Marvel? What's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
What's up, my brother? I've been watching old school movies starring Fred Williamson, Jim Brown, Richard Roundtree, like Black Caesar, Hell Up in Harlem, and Shaft, and Slaughter. The only one of those I didn't see at the movies I saw Black Caesar at the movies with my dad, and I saw Hell in Harlem. I saw Shaft at the movies, and I did not see Slaughter. But Slaughter, I saw it on TV several times because Jim Brown would be nasty with that shotgun. Yeah, I like those old movies too. I mean, like Superfly is probably my favorite because like they use a lot of the scenes in the bar where they blend in Curtis Mayfield. You know, he's playing in the bar they're at and stuff. And so that's kind of like one of my favorites was Superfly. What is it? Sweetback. Van Peebles, the original one, they give him the credit for creating the first kind of anti-hero, you know, to the Europeans, he's anti-hero, but to us, he's a hero. Sweetback. Yeah, that was the name. That movie's kind of hard to watch. It kind of jumps all around, but and then the Mac, you know, I want to be your mother, your father, your lover. You know, you can see the brainwashing of the pimp. You know, he was a straight up pimp. And that scene with him and Richard Pryor, you know, in the gambling joint. And then you remember where he says, stab yourself. He said, I said, stab yourself, sucker. Dude, like, just pricks himself. He said, I said, stab yourself. So, but you know what those films did do though, it took away us being just entertainers. It showed our culture. It showed that we can plan and get things done, especially Cotton Coming to Harlem. Yeah, Cotton Coming to Harlem. I'm trying to think what's the one I got. But Shaft is a clear, you know, where you have a brother that's a superhero. And I mean normal hero, but Shaft is not scared of the man. And, you know, he can move in both worlds. He can move around the European world and the business world, and he can move in the streets and get things done and find things out. So that's why, you know, when the gangster's daughter was taken, they came to Shaft, you know, so it showed a new kind of hero. So, well, let me get in my football picks. You know, this is Sunday on how I did. And this week, I actually, again, I've been hot. These last 3 weeks, I've been on it. 11-3, 9-6. Last week I was 11-5, and this week I am 9-4. Going in tomorrow night, which would make me, let's see, that would be 45, and that would be I am 88-45, y'all. 88-45. So the games that I lost, of course, I lost Texans on Thursday. I won the Commanders. I lost, you know, again, I didn't think the Cowboys could lose 3 in a row, but damn if they didn't. I won the Panthers and Saints. I won the Bills and Dolphins. I won the Chargers and Browns. I lost the Titans and the Patriots. I lost that one because I picked the Patriots. I won the Bengals and Raiders. I won the Ravens. Of course, I won the Eagles. I won the Rams, Seahawks. I won that one. And I lost Packers and Lions. And I had a question mark on that one anyway. I kind of thought that would go the way I kind of thought the Lions would probably win. And then, of course, I just won the Vikings and the Vikings and the Colts, which, I mean, that was ridiculous. That was like they kept them in the game for a minute. And then like today, it was some dirty hits that they said was nothing. It was a roughing hit where the receiver got blowed up and they said it was nothing. They're like, oh, they picked up a flag and said it wasn't roughing the receiver. And it was totally, you know, totally too much. Where's it? All right. Let me break this down. All right, let me break this down. So when you know we look at plays and we look at point shaving, and it's like trying to keep them in the game. I mean, that's really what you saw the Vikings do. When he threw 2 interceptions, remember, when he threw the first interceptions, they was down on the end zone.
All right, here we.
But again, watch Addison break. Addison is open for a touchdown because the safety goes here. Watch Addison. Addison's all alone for a touchdown. And he didn't throw to him. He threw into coverage. This is what we call throwing into coverage. Again, watch Addison break wide open. And he ignores him. And in the way it looked like Addison really should be his first read. Look at this. The safety comes over. Addison's running by himself. And he throws around 3 men. So you know what? He the only one you can throw the ball to? You ignore Addison, but you force it in there. And that was called forcing it. Again, Addison is wide open. You know, no matter how you look at it, Addison is wide open. And it was in his vision. And instead, he ignored Addison. Instead, he's like, I'm going to force it to Jefferson. So. And remember, they didn't sack Falco. They didn't sack Falco until the end of the game. Now, you telling me the problem Falco has had his whole career is he's just stiff. You know, them kind of quarterbacks can't make it anymore, just them stiff stand there. If you can't move a little bit, he's the last of a dying breed of dudes just standing there. So, oh, well, you know, right now is my anniversary. I was thinking it was Tuesday, but it was today. And Saturday, we went to see Tony Rock. We went to see Tony Rock, and it was cool. It was really cool seeing Tony Rock. He was quite funny. But he brought up one part that brothers really could relate to, and I'm going to steal his joke a little bit, but it's like brothers can relate to. So it's like, you know, we have a lingo where we say a certain thing and we know. It's like he was saying, like, he got stopped by the police and stuff, and they was asking him about somebody, and he was like, well, do you know so-and-so? He was like, I know him, but I don't know him like that. And you know that, and if I said that to y'all, do you know so-and-so? No, I don't. I know him, but I don't know him like that. That's telling you that you know him, but you don't really know him. And that's a lingo that we use all the time. And he's making fun of the European people sitting down, but he was like, I know him, but I don't know him like that. And that is us all the way. That is a lingo that we say all the time. So that was just kind of funny things, and it's like, but what I noticed is, like, when you go see musicians, especially when you sit close up, musicians like making eye contact with you because they kind of are getting your energy if you're sitting close up. I'm not, again, you sitting way back, it don't make a difference. But they like the eye contact. Musicians like the eye contact of people sitting close up. They kind of get an energy with that. Whereas comedians is opposite. They really don't want to, because I think it breaks their concentration. They want to see people smiling and people laughing as whatever they do back and forth, whatever they do. But they don't really want to make that eye contact like a entertainer or a singer, like they like doing. They like to make sure the energy, the attention is on them. So it's kind of interesting watching that. Jay Farrell comes back with some dude who sold out next week already, but even though we didn't try to go, but Jay Farrell used to be on Saturday Night Live. He's going to be there around Thanksgiving-ish or maybe the weekend before Thanksgiving. So we'll probably go to that. Why am I getting all this attention? But I love to go to the Mall of America. I had to wear a mink coat, had to wear one of my hats. I had to get fresh to death, have some fun. I had already ate. I was like, my wife ate there, but I just, my nice clothes, I didn't want to really eat and get, shit on me, But like you can hang your coat up for free. So, it was like nobody hanging coats up. It ain't really that time of year, but it was still a good time to bust out that mink. And I was like, yeah, left her a little tip and shit for hanging my coat up. So, but it's free to hang your coats up. So, here motherfuckers wear coats. Even though you're going from the Mall of America garage into the building, which, you know. But here downtown, I used to see chicks in mini dresses. You know, chicks in mini dresses, y'all. It is -4, -5 outside. They walk a block with a mini dress, maybe some shoulders, but mini dress and -4, -5. I mean, it's just, I mean, psychologically, women want to be cute no matter how cold it is. You know, I'll freeze until I get into the club, but I'm going to look cute, you know. And it's like, you know, mini dresses, heels, and you trying to walk through the snow. And, you know, the sidewalks are shoveled most of the time. But it's like, really? Really? You really look cute and warm. But to each his own, you know, to each his own. But it's just really, really odd. Really odd. A couple things that I picked up. And I'm not going very late tonight. You know, if I get an hour and I'll be surprised because I got to get up early. But I picked this up. This is a hat brush, you know, horsehair. And gets the little shit off your hats and shit. You know, you got felt hats or wool, you know. So a little brush to keep them fresh. And everything, you know, was pretty much on sale out at the outlet. So my son wanted to get my daughter some stuff, or we end up buying it, but it was something I had looked at Zoomies, you know, and I love clothes with a lot of detail, especially hoodies and stuff. And so I picked this up. This is by is that? I don't know what that shit is. Maybe y'all could tell me the name of the company. Tag is in here. Tag somewhere in this motherfucker. Is it what is this shit called? MC. Imperial maybe? But the reason why I got it was this back here. Look at all that detail. And that's old 60s kind of rat. You know, you remember the rat cars? It was kind of like this. I saw it in a book for a while ago. Oh, here it is. What is it called? Empire Rat Attack Hoodie. So that's a lot of detail. Look at all that detail. All that detail. And even this on the collar. He's got the spray paint in his thing. And then they got the spray paint here. Whoops. And the normal price of this was $75. And because they had a buy one, get one, or buy one or buy one and get all of it half off. So instead of that costing me $75, it only cost me $47. So hang, what's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul. You can't get.
Thank you for coming. So yeah, that was just you know, a little pickup this weekend. Didn't really see any new shoes at the outlet. It's interesting, the shoes that sit. Like the Hardings I told you I didn't buy. Ain't nobody fucking with them Hardings. The toe is rubber. I mean, the toe is rubber. I don't even think, yeah, is Ant's rubber too? Maybe Ant's shoe maybe even be rubber. Isn't there pictures of Ant's shoe? Let's see. So I passed on the Hardings again. It says Bobby Portis' house was broke in. I'll tell you, Dub Jones died. Huh. When did he die? Dub Jones died recently. This is worth but let me stay. I kind of got off my point. Michael Connelly's crib got broken into here, and they and a ring. They caught a ring of people that were breaking into people's houses, and what they would do is, how do they do it? There's a code they can use to turn off your alarm system. Turn off your alarm system. And what they were doing is they was pulling the whole windows out. So not breaking the windows, but actually attacking the frame itself so they could pull the whole frame out. While they had the electronic stuff to cut off your alarm stuff. So another ring came in, and they opened up ATM. As I said before, money's not really in banks. There's certain banks that get money, but money ain't really in banks. Like, unless you're talking about the federal bank, then that's where the money's exchanged. If you've got a federal depot. And there's only one time I knew where people robbed. Well, there's two occasions where people robbed federal depots. One dude did it in 88 or 89. He got away with 25 million. And then there's another story where dudes, they did the same thing in Arizona, and they went to prison for stealing, they robbed a jewelry store, and one dude testified about that, but the dude didn't rob the bank with him. So, you know, I don't know if the guy's still alive. It was an interesting book on told how they did it. So, did I hear about Embiid pushing the reporter? No, I did not. He's probably frustrated. I mean, you know, Embiid, he's not as bad as Ben Simmons. He's not as bad as him, but Embiid been injury prone since college. Remember, he didn't even play his senior year at Kansas because he was hurt. He said he had back issues. So he didn't even play his senior year. So why are we surprised this dude who's always breaking down is broke down? And it does seem like, I don't know, like they pay these dudes to do nothing. Remember, the Lakers gave Kobe $42 million after he tore his Achilles. After he tore his Achilles, they gave him a bunch of money. What sense did that make? I mean, the years after he won the championship, he wasn't a good player. When he scored 60, he took 50 shots. And just like we saw Westbrook giving triple doubles because nobody would get the rebound. They'd wait for Westbrook to get the rebound. I mean, that was the fakest triple double averaging. Oscar Robertson, when he averaged it the first time in the early 60s, he did it for real. Not to say the league wasn't fixed, but people wasn't just letting him get rebounds. I mean, there was a free throw lineup where you could see where neither team tried to get the rebound. Everybody let him get it. I mean, he hasn't been an effective player in a long time, but Embiid always hurts, so he's probably frustrated. But Dub Jones, he passed. He's one of the 4 or 5 people. What is this? Dub Jones, Gale Sayers, Tyle Rote Jr., and Sean Alexander, I think, are the only Ernie Nevers. Ernie Nevers, I think, was the first to do it. So here's this is a picture from 55. He had a mask. Everybody didn't have mask in 55. All pro running back and flanker for Cleveland and the championship teams of the late 40s and 50s. One of 4 NFL players to score touchdowns in a single game, and he died 99 years old. Now, this is where, I don't know if you guys know it, but his son, Burt Jones, confirmed the death, and Burt was a quarterback for Baltimore. I think Burt went to maybe LSU. I can't remember. He played in the SEC, but Burt was this cat's son. And playing an innovative offense by Paul Brown, the founder and coach, Jones was a double threat. He was outstanding running back at halfback and caught passes out of the backfield as a flanker. A position introduced by Brown to spread the field for passes uncorked by future Hall of Famer Otto Graham. On November 25th, 1951, scored 4 touchdowns running from scrimmage and 2 passes for Grahams in the 42-21 rout of the Bears at the old Cleveland Stadium, tying the 6 touchdown record set by Chicago Cardinals Ernie Nevers. I think he was with the Duluth Eskimos when he set the record, so I don't think this is right. Chicago Cardinals, I don't think that was right. I think he was the Duluth Eskimos when he scored the 6. Ernie Nevers, 29, Gale Sayers, and 65 against San Francisco. Oh, Camaro. Okay, Camaro did it in 2002. Brown used rotating guards as messengers. That's where the old Pittsburgh coach came in. With Cleveland safety ahead, I saw a running play. He called in his autobiography the Paul Brown story. Otto knew the Dub already scored 5 and needed only one more to set a record, so he discarded the call and selected a pass. Dub scored in the next play, and I said nothing about it because he is successful. He had ran for 116 yards on 9 carries and caught 3 passes for 80 yards, including a 43-yard touchdown. His father died when Dub was 3. His mother moved the family to Ruston, where he played state championship football. He played for LSU and Tulane, enrolling in the campus Navy program, which trained prospective officers in World War II. He played for a Navy football team, and then he played for the Miami Seahawks and the Brooklyn Dodgers of the All-American Conference, which was founded in '46. So, it was another complete league going. Cleveland was in it. And then Cleveland won it for like almost 10 years. They had it for about 10 years, I think. 48, AFC disbanded before the 50 season, and the NFL admitted the Browns and 2 other teams into the league, which would have been San Francisco. I know the Browns and San Francisco were 2 of the teams. So, guy you probably never heard of. Let's see anything. 76ers fined $100K after NBA investigation finds improper statements. I saw that the other day. Yeah, investigating absent from 76ers. Oh, here we go. Here we go, right here. 76er star Joel Embiid shoves Philly reporter. NBA is investigating. A visibly angry Embiid shouted and eventually shoved a Philadelphia newspaper reporter in a locker room altercation after struggling Sixers lost to Memphis on Saturday night. They quickly said it opened an investigation into the matter, and Embiid took issue with the Inquirer columnist who mentioned all-star center's late brother and his son, both named Arthur. Late brother and son, questioning Embiid's professionalism and not being in shape after playing in the Paris Olympics. Embiid has yet to play for the Sixers. A reporter entered the room to talk to players. Embiid stood and confronted Hayes. The next time you bring up my dead brother and my son again, you are going to see what I am going to do to you, and I'm going to have to live with the consequences. So he's going to whoop his ass because he said something about his brother and his son. Wow. Several instances, profanity. Next few sentences, offered an apology. Hayes offered an apology, which did not say, that's not the fucking first time Embiid. Embiid later said he doesn't care what reporters say, but you do, Hayes answered. Embiid appeared to get louder at that point, and not long afterward pushed Hayes on the shoulder while the team's public relations chief got between them. Another PR person moved Tyrese Maxey interviewed to the hallway, trying to get clear reporters. At the same time, a team security person asked the media to not report what had happened. Yeah. And Embiid yelled over the guard, they can do what they want. I don't give a shit. Hayes apologized on X on his column. The Inquirer removed the reference to Embiid's late brother and son, both named Arthur. Embiid's brother was hit by a truck in Cameroon and died at 13. Embiid started the memory of Arthur, pledging grant, Philadelphia nonprofit. It's tough thinking about the whole thing. He's one of the reasons I'm doing this. He's someone that cared about every day. It was funny, all the stories I heard, because I had been around since I left Cameroon, because I hadn't been around, and going back to his death, all the stories I heard, just someone who cared about everybody. Doesn't say, when I see people who doesn't want to play basketball, when I see people saying he doesn't want to play, I've been through way too much, Embiid said. I've done way too much for this city and put myself at risk for people to be saying that, I don't think it's bullshit. I think it's bullshit. It's like, dude, he's not here. Marcus, whatever his name is, I've done way too much for this fucking city to be treated like I've done way too fucking much. Like I said, I wasn't just lucky as other players, but that doesn't mean I'm not trying hard and doing what I want. Yeah, you're not trying hard, dude. You've been hurt your whole career. You do look out of shape. You didn't look in shape in the Olympics. He did not even look in shape in the Olympics. Hey, PJ Allen, what's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
So, fucking Bede. He did. Fuck you. Fuck you, Bede. I ain't really impressed with him. Even when he scored 81, I wasn't impressed with him. At all. Bootsy Collin, bass guitarist. Farrah Fisher, Oregon and Yamaha, going for sale. Damn, Bootsy, you broke, Bootsy? Damn. Bootsy's broke. Oh, here it is. It says Embiid investigating altercation. Now, who really cares to see Mike Tyson at 60 box? I mean, that shit makes no sense. Why would they let him box? Do you watch the Starting Five? I've watched several episodes of it, or a little bit. Yeah, I watched a little bit of the Starting Five. Where because my son had been out to Ant's house before. They showed Ant's crib. My son had cleaned his carpet. That's what my son does. And he went out to Ant's house. And my son's about 6'4". He's like, yeah, Ant's way taller than me. So, wow. Takes all kind. Chloe Gracie Mortiz comes out as gay woman in post endorsing Carmella. Why did you have to tell people? I think my son said he lived in Woodbury, I think. He said he lived in Woodbury. I'd have to look up again, but not far. Not. He doesn't live again, when you look at where they usually live, they live where it's close to the Target Center. And so, and if you want to be on, well, you're going to have to cross the lake pretty much anyway where you go. But I think he lives more east, I think. I'd have to ask my son again, but not far. Because he lives somewhere on this side. Because, again, they don't try to live too far from the Target Center. Like the football players, all mostly like in houses and apartments, they live in Edina, which is not far from me. I live roughly 10 minutes from Edina. Because that's where the facility is in Edina. Like Zimmerman's house was in Edina, the old coach. So they tend in Kirk Cousins, all of them live over in that area. That's where I just saw Kirk Cousins' house up for sale. And it wasn't that much. I think it was up for, I think they said he paid $700,000 for it. So I think it was less than $1 million. Wasn't a very massively big house, probably 30, maybe 4,000 square feet. Not like 8 to 10,000 square feet, not massively big. So, but I've seen his truck. He got one of them, those ugly trucks. So I've seen his truck several times because he was the first one around here to have one. So I saw his truck several times. Yeah, I was right. My son just did my carpet. He had to do our carpet. So he just did our carpet. Okay. I said I'm not going to be on terribly long. What time is it? Yeah, I got to get a little sleep before I go. I got a early day tomorrow. Early in the morning. I wake up and I start to yawn. And y'all hip to that real Roxanne? And now, we got the election. We got the election coming up. And, it's really, like I've said before, and PJ knows, we're friends on Facebook. I fuck with people and I talk shit, and it's like people get, what's so frustrating is I've had the same comments from the same people for the last 2 elections. It's like they don't never comment on my shit, but until election time. And if I say something that's not in line with them, they get triggered. I mean, they really get triggered. It's like none of this shit is triggering to me. None of it. My wife gets so mad at me and shit. She. And like I told her, I tell her relatives, like, you got something to say to me, say about me, say to me. Don't say that shit to me. Yeah, it's like, say that shit to me. Election night might get crazy. Well, they're already saying that, they're finding ballots, throw it away. I tell you, it's like both camps have to have a lot of people in the streets protecting this, because we saw like the one that they stole in recent time was pretty much Gore and Bush, where Gore didn't send enough of his troops down to Florida, because man, if y'all remember, I don't know if y'all old enough when Bush won, because this is 2000, but like what was done in Florida was the Republicans sent people down there and started working with the sheriff's departments. And so what the sheriff's departments were doing was almost like martial law, where they were posted up outside of precincts where you could go vote. They were stopping people, checking IDs, and if your name matched somebody with a warrant, they wasn't letting you vote. So there was hundreds, thousands of people in Florida that didn't get to vote because they were being checked, and in the melanated neighborhoods, to be being checked. So you have to have your people, an army of people all across the nation to pay attention. So we'll see if the Trump people are all out there, or is it going to be the Carmelas people? Says my wife and I can't talk politics. Matter of fact, me and nobody can talk politics shit on either side of the family. Yeah, they like it's and what I mean. This is the biggest issue with most melanated people is you are blindly Democratic. Like blindly Democratic. It's like no matter who they put out there. Like when people voted for Dukakis. I mean, they supported Dukakis. If y'all remember, he ran against was it Bush one or was it Clinton? Now Clinton was a Democrat. But it's like, and Mitt Romney. Remember Mitt Romney ran against Obama. So somebody that you knew they wasn't gonna put a Mormon in there. You knew they wasn't. The motherfucker to wear them funny underwears and shit. You knew they wasn't putting a person like that in there, but yet, so you see that they weren't serious about it. So they wasn't very serious about it. And so now if they don't be on top of it, we can see something very similar happen again. Something very, very similar happen again. Funny underwear. Oh yeah, you ain't hip to that? Where they wear like a onesie. They wear, like Mormons wear a onesie over all their clothes. They wear special clothes. It looks like a onesie. Where you got to put your legs in it, then you pull it up around your shoulder. It's like got underwear, top, all in one. They wear that kind of shit. I don't know why. And now this is what I've heard. I haven't been to Utah, but what I heard, my brother lived in Utah, and what he told me is like to get drinks, if you go to a bar, you got to be sponsored. You got to be sponsored to get drinks. You just can't get a drink. You got to get somebody from Utah to sponsor you and say, yeah, it's okay for this nigga to drink. So I don't know why people would want to play there. That's, the hardest thing is, Spider Mitchell got up out of there. He wouldn't, let me tell you how much he hated Utah. He went to Cleveland. And ain't a whole lot in Cleveland. So he went to Cleveland. He left Utah to go to Cleveland. But I bet he feels freer in Cleveland than he did Utah. I can imagine. But yeah, it's a trip how people don't like get so like this stuff makes them so one-sided. And my only argument is you have to look at how people treated other people. And that's what it is. It's like, how did people treat people, other people? Now all this propaganda, dictator, what is the new one saying now? Because they know that this chick can't win, so they're like, well, what's going to happen is Trump's going to get elected, and then they're going to pass the law that says he's crazy and old and senile, and then Vance is going to be president, and Vance has 2025. Again, fear programs. They want you to be scared of everything. But it's fear, that's what they look at. Fear. Vote on our side or we're gonna hit you with fear. So I mean, I think I made the short video earlier. Carmella don't like brothers. I mean, it's obvious. I think what happened is, when she was a groupie for Willie Brown and she was a groupie for Montel Williams, because they said she was having threesomes with Montel Williams. So this is who you want to be a president. A chick that was a groupie. She was a groupie, and it's no doubt she was a Willie Brown groupie. So you don't think Willie Brown opened a lot of doors up? And Willie Brown was like in his 40s when she was in her 20s. So it was straight pimping for him. So chick is a groupie. They building Cleveland up. Okay. I haven't been to Cleveland. Let me see. I think I told this story before. I drove to Cleveland from Michigan. It took me 5 hours to drive. And I had my Mark 8. I had my Mark 8 and one of the air rides. Going there, my front air ride went out. And so it's lowered in front. I mean, the car's still dry, but it's like all the other air rides is riding like they supposed to. This one is tilted, So I had to get it fixed. But I had to drive back, so I drove it back like that. It was fine and ended up getting it fixed. And most people who get them cars now, you can take all that air ride shit off and put just a regular system in there. And they're still pretty fun cars. I mean, it still had a 302? I think it was 40 horsepower. And how they killed the engines back then. But so it was a fun little car to drive. I think I had a 95 and 96, something like that. Yeah, my son was born in 95. I think I had it then. So drove it and didn't realize I didn't have good tires. I was like, oh, my tires are crap. I have more sports performance tires. Scared the shit out of me though. Now I think back about it, I was like, oh, okay. I just had them performance tires on there. That's why. Oh, did y'all see this? Where's the picture? Now this is I don't know if y'all checked this out before. Here we go. Why didn't it go away? Why is this on here? No picture? The story. Oh, yeah, here we go. I want to see a full picture of the body, though. Why is this on here? Oh, that's bullshit. All right. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this ain't the full picture I wanted. It was a picture there when I first started watching it, but then it's not a picture there now. But I'll turn to the article and share the article with everybody. Cadillac is locked riding on new Celestic. Now check this price out. A Cadillac that's gonna cost $350,000. Make an appearance, at the Auto Train, Newport. A coterie of designers on hand to meet prospect buyers. 350 Cadillac. How is it going to keep its value? It has struggled to connect with buyers the last few years. The upscale brand has lost market share to its German and Korean competitors. Its flagship SUV, the Escalade, has been buoying the marquee for now. The company's electric vehicles are slowly winning over drivers. Sale of the Lyric crossover growing. So he must be the president. says a huge trend in the industry now is customization, coach building, wise Cadillac is going in that direction. And as I, gave you a little history of Fisher Body were the ones who end up building a lot of those 60s and 70s cars was Body by Fisher, if you remember. So make you think in this Bentley, and this is what the back seat looks like. Celestic, offering customers the ability to truly customize everything. The tyranny of choices is there, and we are trying to help our customers. They have the ability to touch every color and finish on the exterior and interior and give their own personality. There's a lot of competition, but few people are looking for something very unique and specific. But how is this going to hold its value being a Cadillac? How long will it take to build? Right, we are building cars right now. A number of people have gone through the design process, selected their inventory. Our customers coming to Cadillac House in Michigan, or are you designers flying over the world? We are online with them. They come to Cadillac House and go through the samples. Oh, this is what it looks like. Okay. They tried a number of times to reestablish its position. Has become a standard of the world again. Sparked the rebirth of Cadillac. Here we go. Here's a two-door, the Soleil concept. But this is what it's going to look like before door. And that's the electric car that. And this is the V series. Yeah, this is nasty. Is this a Blackwing? This is a nasty car that people don't understand. You want to get them Hellcats, but this car right here is nasty. I rode in one in Florida, and or South Carolina. This is these bat wings. This is or black wings, I think they're called. This is the CT4 Blackwing and the CT5. These will fuck with anything out there. One of these. I was wondering if they were gonna mention that, but this is a hell of a car. People don't give a lot of credence to. So, but this Blackwing, this car give you, and these are both four doors. They'll give you all the horsepower you want, and ain't too much gonna fuck with these two cars. Both these Blackwings. So they're probably an underrated supercar that people don't talk about. I rode one in Florida. That motherfucker was nasty. Like when I had my 300C, I had about 300. I had to put the blower on there, so I think the blower gave me 320 horsepower, maybe. And it was one of them V Cadillacs, and I couldn't pass him. He couldn't leave me where I could stay with him because we was both doing about 110, and we was on the highway. I could never pass him because he would try to get over to see if I could pass him. That car was lighter. Them 300s is heavy ass cars, probably close to 5,000 pounds. But I had that motherfucker up to about 110, but he had a lot more to go. The V's, the Black Wings they're worth getting. And if you can get the ATS, the two-door ATS in a V, that's a sweet car too. You can get that little light car in a V. The ATS, I think it is the two-door version. I think it's a CT two-door version and an ATS two-door version. But the two doors, that is still today. I think that's one of the better designs they did. And they only made that car for a couple years because I see them around. I was like, wow. I have to look into something like that. And again, gold close. Let's see, what did gold close Friday? Yeah, 2,700. Gold is at 2,700, y'all. So, should be invested in something. Gold coins, whatever. If you don't really like Bitcoin, here you go. This shit is slowly gonna make 3,000. So. I know my gold is worth more, so I know if you got any gold, you got a big heavy chain or something, it's worth more. It's worth more. So just something to consider. Breakthrough procedure lauded for permanently fixing failing teeth. Okay, well, give me some choppers, because to replace choppers is expensive. Circle of greed. Teachers left hundreds of uncertified teachers in Texas. They stealing from motherfuckers, stealing college money, thinking people getting college credits. Well, I'm not gonna go too long tonight. This is gonna be definitely a short show. I'll be on Wednesday to get the picks. I don't even know if I'm going to do the divinations. And it's like, it's funny how, like, what YouTube will do is they will give you a lane. If you like find something interesting, they'll give you a lane. But the moment you start going outside that lane, they do penalize you. They'll take subscribers away. And so it's an interesting game. And again, my other channel that was started in 14 was taken away in 20. It was like the day Biden took, it was 2020, like the 4th or 5th. And the day Biden took over, the Democrats took over, my channel was taken away. And you can't say that one was not the other. And what I just said is experience that my doctor told me, her co-doctor. There's people that said just as much. So, and so it's like, I don't, I don't want to be too much of a mystic because I want to be relatable. And I think that's what, a lot of cats get when they try to be mystics. They get a lot of stuff that's not really relatable. And that's how I try to bring up mystic stuff that's relatable and how you can apply it to everyday life, because that's what it's all about. Like I listen to a dude that talks about their cult, and it's just funny what he's talking about. It's just funny. And it's like some of these cats don't even like questions. It's like they don't even like questions. And you can tell, I'll be asking shit, motherfuckers be getting irritated, especially if they lie, they get irritated. It's like when you sell, when you selling stuff, that you want people to ask questions, when you selling something. And I know people that's know-it-alls and thought people were stupid for asking questions. But no, you want them to ask questions. That's something you want them to do, ask questions. Because that shows interest. But all I can really say is you just have to believe in yourself. I mean, all these other things that you have to learn on your own. Mostly spiritual stuff and reality is something you have to learn on your own. And the thing about it is, it's like with reality is you pop in and out of it. I mean, sleep is what they call the agreeable death. Because technically you do die once you go to sleep. Your body just shuts down. And so technically you're agreed to die. And then when you wake up in the morning, mourn. They want you to start your day mourning. It's all spell work. You dig? I mean, that's the most negative thing about English. That's why they used to say, the American Indians used to say, English speaks with a forked tongue. Meaning you can't really, trust their word. They speak with a forked tongue, which means, they can't trust your word. But it's like we spell on ourselves so much and so often that we don't even understand it. And that's why when I see parroting spells, I'm like, you got to break that habit. At least don't copy what everybody else says. It's like my problem with Bomber. Savon Bomber always has everybody saying wholeness. I mean, why would you want people parroting something? I don't want a group of people all saying the same thing, parroting. Ask me how I'm doing. And to me, that is brainwashing. That's brainwashing. Like that's the only like after a while, things get old. And this mug has been on for a number of years and they still saying the same thing. So after a while, that's a brainwashing. Because if they don't all use that greeting, it's like you're not part of us. It's like that funny dude used to be on there, the 100% dude. I remember my boy Chief Micah King. Micah like talked to one of this guy's girl he liked, and he would always go 100%. I don't know who's that goofy dude. They keep taking him off the mag. He'd go 100%. I mean, the shit was so. I would listen to him just to say that. But I remember the people that would call in or he would talk to. If he talked to her, was on the panel, they talking like him. And why would you want that? I don't want people repeating shit I'm saying. Now, I do like to I say before, I give freely. And, I encourage people to do the same. And how you do it is on you do it. But I don't want you, just be repeating it. Everything you saying is you give freely. That's just plain silly. That's why when I see these parroting spells, I put them out there so you can break it. Magic was calling everyone a transformer. Mag was calling, everyone a transformer. Yeah, he was. Yeah, but he was always 100%. They're a deceiver. That shit was so entertaining. He was calling them motherfuckers a deceiver. And I saw a nigga that somebody showed his clip, and that nigga ain't been on in a while, like almost 10 years. It was a dude called the 13th Son. This nigga was on so long ago that I think it was like the iPhone 5 or 6. And this nigga said on a live that if you get an iPhone, it's gonna make it disappear. I was like, this dude is a kook. But one thing I'll tell you about that dude, one thing I'll tell you about him, I watched him do spells, and he was good at spells. Because he had came into my dreams. I mean, that from just watching him, I never enacted, never really typed much, but he came into my dreams. And I heard him tell one dude that was heckling him or trolling him, he's like, keep trolling me. I'll come into your dreams. And I mean, this dude had a little bit of juice with him about that. He didn't do anything, chasing me and shit in the dream, but he just appeared in the dream like, whoa. So he had a little bit of juice to him. But he also sang a song called Ghetto Booty. So he went from rapper to, he dressed up like York. People used to get on him for dressing like York. But somebody showed one of his clips, which I hadn't seen one of his clips in over 10 years. Because his clips was like 14, 15, somewhere back in there. But when it's on this thing forever. I think you can still find him. The 13th Son is what he called himself. And he's had some scam in him too. I'll say that. He had some scam trying to sell bullshit, That's why, I say I give freely. I don't try to do any readings. I give a divination, just a general reading to everybody. But it's nothing I'm trying to sway people on. I just do it as a courtesy, for me doing it. That's all. Because I think everybody needs a little juju, a little extra juju in their life. It's not harmful. Is it 12:30? Damn if it ain't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap this up. Been helping my son, broke his arm, if I didn't mention that. So I've been helping him do his laundry, and he's in the process of moving. I ain't moving. But I'll help him with his laundry. I'll carry it up and down, and I'll do the shit for him. He wanted me to put his hair in up on his head, because my son's hair is like this. He's got long hair, and he's got it all frizzed out. I was like, I don't want to touch your hair, nigga. This is weird. He's like, come on, just put my hair up so I can take a shower. I'm like, why can't you get your hair wet? But I had to get on him because he was funky. Some of them, when he first broke his arm, he was funky some of them days. So I was like, hey, you funky mug. You gonna have to do something about that. I know your arm is broke, but you can still put deodorant on. Get a bar of soap and wash this arm and try to wash that one too. And then, spray it off. Spray that funk off. But if you have children, you know how it is. It's like when you have children, your heart is spread out so many different ways. And it's spread out there anyway. You got parents and loved ones, and if your grandparents are still alive, But your heart is spread out a different way than the way your heart is spread out for your children. Your heart is really spread out. It's almost like when your children are born, they break off a piece of your heart and they have it for the rest of their lives. And especially, it's something that they carry. It's I guess almost I could say like a fire that they carry, and just the way you feel about them. Because you have so many memories of those little people and not just the big person you see today. All my children are basically adults and grown, except my youngest, she's 13. you talking about this nigga wearing a turban? Yeah, he's wearing a turban. Yeah, exactly. He's wearing a turban and shit. He's trying to look like Dr. York. That's how people would heckle the brother. They'd heckle him because it's like, who you trying to be, Dr. York? Because he did have a song called Ghetto Booty. And then, but I mean, he's, other than when he was trying to scam some money from folks, he had set up something and was getting people to donations. that gets sketchy with me when they want them donations. I ain't asked for nothing. I don't ask for likes. I don't ask for shares because I don't, if you feel good enough and you can afford to send me something, that's great. But I'm not gonna ask it because I pretty much got it. I got it enough, so. I just give out what I can give out without, I'll do readings. If somebody wanted me to do a reading, I would do a reading for free. I ain't trying to charge for that. And actually, I'm pretty good at deciphering stuff. I'm good at breaking down dreams too. I'm pretty good at that. I should probably do more of it, but I just don't. Like even the cards, I ain't got this shit memorized, but I can look through what the cards mean and break it down for people pretty easily. And I ain't got none of this shit memorized, but I can look at the key words of what it is saying and say, okay, this how this applies to you. And I'm pretty good at that. I should write since I've been taking all this other medication, I fucking dream now. I wasn't dreaming before I take all this medication. Whatever that medication is, have a nigga dreaming and shit. Remembering dreams. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it has me remembering that shit. So, and you should write down your dreams because there's always your mind is still working and there can be little messages that you're seeking in dreams. So, and I should do it myself. I got all these scrapbooks here and these pens, and I should take one of these in there. And what I dream, I should write down. I used to do it, but I get lazy and don't do it anymore. But there's so many people and so much competition. Like if you look through all the lives, it's just it blows my mind the attention that goofy people get. Like there's people that offer really nothing. Like they really offer nothing. One lady, she just reads the comments. And that's all she does. She's a card reader and she's trying to get money for reading cards for people, but she just basically for 2-3 hours just reads people comments. And so it blows my mind the lack of real information that people get out there and the followings they have for not really putting, real information out there or putting a lot of gossip out there. People, especially niggas love gossip. And I'm just not a gossiping kind of nigga. I don't care about a lot of this shit. A lot of this stuff, what does it do for you? What does it do for you? You dig? I talk about sports because, to me it's sacred. When I say I'm the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins, that's how I live. Sports are sacred to me. And it's a shame, them peoples is over basketball. That's a shame when the first barnstorming teams was brothers that owned themselves. They didn't need them peoples to own their team. It wasn't until they saw the amount of money these dudes was making that they wanted in on it. And not only wanted in, they control it now. That's why, when what's his name? Plays for Duke and plays for Irving. When Kyrie Irving said what he said, he didn't even say nothing about them people. He just said that there's a book out and them people got offended because they think they own basketball. Last two commissioners been them peoples. Stern, and now we got Silverman. They think they own it. Look at the amount of owners that's them people. They think they own it. And yet now the players is almost, 50% of split with the revenues, which is a good move. I think they're the only sport like that. Football ain't like that, where the players get such a, I mean, if you look at like what Magic did, like the year they didn't have the Olympics, Magic took a touring team. He took Isaiah Thomas and Mark Aguirre with him. And I watched Isaiah play at Indiana, and I watched him play in the summer against them pros every day, and Isaiah got 1,000 times better. From the time he won the NCAA championship that summer, playing against Magic and them groups of pros every day, his game was elevated and same with Mark Aguirre. And Mark Aguirre, what, 6'7", 6'8"? Same with him. I think Jay Vincent was back with them. I think Jay had healed and he was with Magic. And Magic had everybody. Gervin, they got so much better. So it was something they did, is my point. And like money tournaments is, I always played money tournaments. Very few people like to follow mess. Yeah, people like to follow mess. They do. They do. And it just shows you their mentality. And that goes back into the voting thing. How easy people are swayed. And how emotional somebody gets. It's us against you. It's like the high school game. My city against your city. It's like I always make fun of Battle Creek, Michigan, because if people talk about them that we don't get along with them East Side niggas, and I'm like looking at these people where you could walk to the whole town in 10 minutes. You could walk 10 minutes in one direction and still be on the same side of town. So I'm like, you telling me that the people that live 5 or 6 blocks that way is a different side of town. It is, Battle Creek only has 50,000 some people, so there's no sides of town. It's all one. And yet, I've told the story before about how I know the local police has something to do with setting up the gangs. Let's just say that. And informants was the head of the gangs was police informants. I'm tired of the Diddy shit. Yeah, exactly. And we know it's a distraction. You got that going on and you got the election. It's a distraction. Fuck him, Fuck him, R. Kelly, all the motherfuckers. We already know. And all them people that had something to do with him. I mean, it's been debauchery with him. That ain't nothing new. There's been debauchery tied to his name since day one. So they get away with it. Same with Epstein. I mean, if you look up Epstein, all Epstein did is set up them simps with women. He set up the old man with Gap. He gave him a mansion behind his house, and then he gave him that Manhattan mansion. And all he did is gave him a wife. He helped him get a wife, a young wife. He did the same thing with Bill Gates. That's what his job was getting these old simps that couldn't get women and like young girls. That's what his job was. And as that man from the Gap gave him all that money, then there was others that was invested in him and saw that he could get them girls. I mean, he was a pimp on a very high level, and he pimped young girls. I mean, it's all out there that he pimped young girls. Got caught pimping young girls. Some of his shit was where he would get a massage by other people and beat his meat while he was getting a massage while young girls watched. That's some of his charges. Epstein was Welker's love toy too. Yeah. I mean, Epstein was such a pimp. He was teaching college without a teaching certificate or degree. Yet he was teaching a college class. Sound like, that dude from Catch Me If You Can. He can just go in there and be a teacher. No one thought anything about it. Well, we know Jeffrey went to school, so. So that's how they create these people. And the same with the Ponzi scheme. I mean, that's always the people are complicit. And what was different about what was the guy who got him? He got them peoples. That one dude, Bernie Madoff, he mostly attacked them peoples with his Ponzi scheme, and that's why they came down so hard on him, because most of his clients was them peoples, and he went through billions of their money. And they supposed to be the master bankers, but here he scammed them. Well, you invest in him, we've been making money, and you invest in him, we've been making money. That shows greed. It shows greed. It shows greed. And so they allow these monsters to be created, and they allow it to go on. And then something changes, and they're like, well, we better come after him now. I mean, R. Kelly was doing what he did right out of high school. And then how long ago was the peeing on the girl video? How long ago was that? No federal charges on that. She was only 15 at the time. I mean, I'm sure the FBI had the video back then, was like, oh, well, she looks older. She was 14 or 15 when he pissed on her. So there was no federal charges then against that. That wasn't that porn, child porn at that? Pissing on a girl when she was underage? Isn't a golden shower a type of sexual thing? So they come after him when they have no use for him. And it's like now when you look at all this, they done brought Magic Johnson out campaigning. Obama has no real use anymore, but and he turned people away, and so did Michelle. And you got this two millionaires. You got Oprah and Michelle up there, or Michael, got them speaking, and they're telling people to raise more money, to send her money, get her over the top. Wait a minute, you two millionaires. I think she's got enough friends that can give enough money where you ain't got to ask the poor for money. And then that money don't really spread around. That's the sad part about the elective money. That money goes mostly to TV, radio. That's who benefits. TV, radio, hotels, traveling, airplanes, rent-a-cars. That's who benefits from this election money. Both of them raised almost $1 billion, probably almost close to $2 billion together. And look who gets it. Look who gets it. It ain't spread around to everybody where everybody's, business can benefit from having an election, where the candidates actually support local people. But that's rarely the case. Entertainers get it, newspaper, television. That's who gets the majority of this money raised. Hell, y'all don't remember what his name, P-Shot that ran against Bush? This dude was a billionaire himself, and he was on TV for like 8 hours one night. He paid 8 hours. He paid something like $10 million to be on 8 hours. And all he did, he's a rich oil man from Texas. 8 hours. He was able to buy 8 hours of just watching him talk by himself. Like me right now. But he paid millions to do it. That's how Ross Perot, that was his name, Ross Perot. One night, like this time, and it'll be running up to the election, that mug was like, you're going to see me for the next 8 hours. How much it costs? I got it. But again, the TV people got the money. So that's why they're so in tune to it. And the news, that's why they cover it so much, because it's money for them. It's their time. TV, radio, ads, it's their time. They make money off of this. So, not the common people. It's money that is kept in one bracket, one part of society that it doesn't spread around. Doesn't spread around. The majority of that money goes to these TV people and radio people. So you see why they back certain people, and you see how that goes. Alberto Gonzalez Hernandez Suez, what's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
And that's why, anything that takes you away from you, that's the main point. You really have to look at what is serving you and what is working for you and pushing you ahead. Because so many distractions makes you not think about you and the things you should be thinking about. Like your self-confidence, your self-awareness, how to make you better, how to make yourself more profitable. Because that's what we do. As men, we make money and get money. I mean, really, the paper chase never ends. So however you get it or however you can get it, that's to live a comfortable life, that's part of it. And, like we was looking at that Cadillac that's gonna be $300,000. And I've often thought, I mean, the average house is 300,000 to 600,000. And I've told before, last summer I'm looking at houses $500,000, and you had to do shit to them. You would think that these houses would be perfect, and no. Look, there one house where it had that, like they cleaned the carpet, but the what do they call it, the cushioning, the shit under the carpet was so old that it got mildewy smelling. So it had the opposite. One people had a bucket catching a drip that they hadn't fixed. And the bucket was like, it was about to pour over. It was so much, but it was catching a drip off one of their pipes. Came off their hot water heater. And if I would have been selling the house, I was like, let's put this up. But they know it's going to catch water. Why didn't you get that fixed? You got this house on the market for $550,000, but you got water drip in the house. And my point is like, who's supposed to buy all this stuff? Escalade costing $100,000, a Navigator costing $100,000. Who is supposed to buy this stuff? Who wants a $2,000 car payment? I mean, that doesn't make sense. Now, I guess if you got it, if you make $10,000 a month, I guess $2,000 ain't that bad, but it's still. When you could get a perfectly, you could get a perfectly good car with a payment of $300 to $500 a month, and you'd be rolling just like that person is rolling. I mean, matter of fact, older luxury car is a better investment because you're gonna get a lot of the bells and whistles, as my brother-in-law likes to call them. Your car can take you where those cars can take you. Oh yeah, I watched what was the early games? It was a doubleheader. Dallas Falcons. Who was on the other side? I watched a split screen. So I watched Dallas and the Falcons, and who was the other early game? Oh, Ravens, Broncos. So I watched Broncos, Ravens, and I watched Dallas Falcons. And then the night game was the Packers, Lions. So the second game was Packers, Lions. And then I just got done watching the Vikings play. So I watched the Packers. Packers is my regional. If we don't get the Vikings, we gonna get the Packers. And then the Chiefs, normally a AFC game, we get the Chiefs. The Chiefs is kind of like in our region of AFC teams. So I'll see the Chiefs almost every week. No, I'm not voting for her. I'm definitely not voting for her. Yeah, I'm not voting for her. But I am gonna vote. But not for her. I might vote for myself. You can write your own name in there. Ain't gonna really count, but you can write your name in there. And it's like, the system has been so crooked. It's like what allowed Jim Crow, A dude won the popular vote. They had to have a revote because the Electoral College was tied, and they talked to one of the guy who won the popular vote. They got him out of there. They got one person to leave the Electoral College that was going to support the other guy who won the popular vote. So they got Harrison in there, and Harrison is the one who agreed to pull the troops out. Out of the South and start Jim Crow, stop Reconstruction, and gave the South back to the people that rebelled. So, yeah, I don't know if voting for her is gonna do that. It really ain't. It's gonna be the opposite. She's her mom was a communist, her dad was a communist. So what do you think her the way she feels and what she showed in California to the people. I mean, it's obvious she doesn't like brothers. I mean, that's very obvious that she went to Howard. You telling me you didn't find a husband at Howard and the only black men you were attracted to was movie stars? So that shows you she was a groupie. But I talked about that earlier. Yeah, I'll go about 4 more minutes. It's almost 2 o'clock my time. Did y'all get rest today? Daylight savings and shit, got extra time? I think I told the year when I was in 6th grade, I think they didn't do daylight savings. And we was going to school at 9 o'clock and it was still dark. So I don't know if y'all remember that or not. Probably not. That probably was like 72, 73. And then I guess they're going to do without daylight savings in a year or two. So there won't be any. So the time of the long nights. And it's a great time to meditate. I don't know if a lot of people like meditating at night. It's a great time to meditate. Like going on into the solstice, the long nights is really a great time to really get a lot of spiritual work done. I mean, because we just got over, the night of the dead, that veil lifting between the two worlds. So now, going into the solstice, the energies of the night kind of take over for a short period between now and the solstice. And I remember back in 16, it was the longest night in 500 years. Great energy that night. Great energy. I had a great meditation. So I hadn't bought another pair of shoes. No, I haven't played pickleball since July. Since I had a heat stroke, I ain't been back out there. I need to join Lifetime and start playing indoors. And actually, the weather just got where you couldn't play outside. So it's this week's supposed to be in the 50s, which technically you could still play. I remember one winter we played all winter outside. We shoveled off the court and we played literally because it's a place where the lights come on. It's one of the tore up courts, but it's like the lights would come on and we'd be out there playing. As long as you had gloves on, court was dry. As long as the court was dry, you could move and play. And I literally played all winter, didn't miss any months. But now I played only a hand. I've only played about 20, 30 times the whole year this year. I really didn't play like I did last year. And I've been lazy. I ain't walked my 3 miles since last Wednesday, I think. But the weather's been kind of funky, so I haven't. But yeah, when I come in my next show, I did buy some more shoes. I'll show them. They ain't came yet. But when they come, I'll bust them out. Other than that, I still saw the 39s, the orangish ones, peach or orange color. They still had those. And there's a shoe called the Evo. It's the Air Jordan Evo, I think what it's called. Ain't nobody touching them. I'm surprised they're not. Air Force Ones, they tend not to mark down, which is interesting. But these, I actually want a pair, but at the price, I ain't going to pay what they want. They want like $130 for them. And that's just, at $130, there's a lot of other shoes I could get. So I was kind of waiting for those shoes to go down in price. But it's funny, like I was saying with Hardings, the Hardings, ain't nobody touching them. Oranges, yeah, they're kind of the 39 lows. I got married in the 39 highs. That's what I got married in, or the 38 highs. So these was the 38 lows, and they were 119 with 30% off, which made them 83. And they had a little dirt. Whoever tried them on had some dirt on their hands. So if they get cheaper, I'll get them. But $83 for a pair of newer brand Jordans, it's not bad, but it's like, I only wore these once or twice this year. I've been wearing these the last couple of days. So, these sat in the box most of the time. Comfortable in the motherfucker, though. So, I mostly wear LeBrons or them new Jordans. I've been watching them. Well, I would say like this, like for astral projection or meditating, You want some obsidian or shungite around for protection because it's always good to get some sweetgrass, palo alto, or even incense to kind of ward off unwanted kind of energies. Because you really, when you pop that third eye open, you're really opening yourself up. And so you want some type of protection around you. That's, to me, is the first thing. So some black stone would be best. Obsidian, black tourmaline, or black kyanite, but a shungite. But those are some of the most important, I think. And then the biggest thing is just to learn to relax, learn to turn your mind off. Don't worry about anything, because there's a couple layers that you can get into. One layer, as I was saying before, what happens with most beginners is you get to see in the golden ratio. Almost looks like a rotating turban mushroom. And that's the first level that a lot of people will come to. You'll see it kind of just turning. That's kind of like the first level. And then once you get above that, you'll start experiencing movement is one of the first things, is because a lot of times when you see that big mushroom turning, it's moving you. You're not really, it's almost like you're being pulled into it in a way. So you're not really moving yourself with purpose. You don't know how to move yourself with purpose. But what happens is, though, once you start getting the colors coming in, purple is the thing you move yourself in. Like if you really want to move deep into the astro, you're gonna, bring in the purple, and the purple will help you move. And that's where you're moving and not being moved. And then the goal is to where you come from. That's what your goal is to go where you come from, and to go where the ancestors are there if you call them. So, well, I've got into time travel. I've told my time travel. I am a time lord. I am a time walker. I am the only time walker, especially practicing time walker. And what the control people don't understand about time is you don't need to, and what was it called? The Umbrella Academy said it, with a little dude that's going 1,000 years back. But that's not really real time control, that you can go back or forward. I'll say, well, let me say this. What time control really is moments. Like the greatest example I can give you is, I was looking at this old car as I was driving and wasn't paying attention, and I should have hit this car. But because of my time control, I was re-given the few feet to stop. And I've had that happen. I mean, it's almost like it's going to happen. Instead of running into a car, I get a few extra seconds to react that normal people wouldn't get. And that's the easiest way I can explain it to you. Is that you're able to replay moments, and it's only minutes. You don't really need to go years back. Now I've had experiences where I had going years back to see ancestors, and to see this joker right there back into the Mayan, and to play the ball game with them, to play the ball game with the Omen or the Omic, to see how they lived. I've had those experiences too, but generally what most people can control is the moments. It's like I say about petting my cat. Every time I pet them like I'll never pet them again. I've come to love, because they know I take care of them. And so, they try to, in return, interact with you because you take care of them. Same with a dog, any animal. I had a little bird that he'd come out of his cage and get on my hand. He'd put his head down so I'd pet his head. He did that from beginning when we first brought him home. He'd put his head down so I could stroke him. Or it was my son's bird, but it was like all of us. He would let us pet him because he knew we did our best to take care of him. And if you have fish or plants, I love plants. I got about 10, 11 plants in this house because I love taking care of things. And in return, they give the energy to you. And so, when it comes to time travel, you don't really need to go very far back. That's the biggest thing. It's just you want those moments back. That's all. Okay. Well, that was been a short life, but yeah, if you can experience that. Now, I've talked to before, like shapeshifting it's I don't know, it's nothing evil about shapeshifting. I've had that. I think it's like most people like being birds. I like being an eagle, but I thought being a panther was more rewarding. Yes, it's cool to be able to soar up in the sky. It's cool to be a big ass bird, like a plane with wings, a plane that could tear shit up, and see miles away. But being a panther was far more, I don't know. I just love that experience. I mean, you could smell 100 miles away. You could smell 100 miles away. And at nighttime, you could see everything. You got natural night vision as a panther. And so, and you had a way of moving really quiet. And then when you went to your crib, like I said before, I killed this deer. And I mean, a deer was probably 100-pound deer, but as a panther, I was able to bite that motherfucker and lift it up in the air and run with that bitch to, when I took it back to my family, all my female cats and my children, because they lived in the cave. I was able to take that big ass deer and run that deer to the cave. I don't know. And just being able to tell when somebody comes into your damn territory and go to their ass. And, cats, the women cats like to hunt with you too. So we would all fan out in different directions, different threats. So that to me, now as far as other lives, I can't really say. I say the closest I can relate to that is like non-humanish. Like, what was it, a time where I was non-human? And I don't mean, like animal or insect. I mean actually something else. That's what I kind of get out of there. Like something non-earth-like. If I was anything else, I feel that non-earth-like kind of vibe more than something being something on earth. So don't quite know where that comes from. No, I've really never had that. I think they stay away from me. I've never had that. My ex-wife said when I would be at work, she thought that that's what it was. She's kind of influenced by that shit now, but no, I never encountered anything like that. I don't think my brother has either. Neither one of us says that. They don't fuck with us. They're like, yeah, we can't do, because I think a lot of it's the government. I mean, really, I think it's the government more than anything. If they ever come, it's going to be the government. I mean, a part of the government. That's all. Somebody with more technology, but it's the government. I mean, again, you don't think the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, you don't think they have technology that we don't have? I mean, of course, they're going to have the top stuff. I mean, it's like they own some of the military companies, subsidiaries, and they got that stuff we don't get. So it wouldn't be that easy to, try to kill those folks, because they got stuff we can't even imagine to save them and their family members. So we can't even imagine what protections they have through technology. That's why you only hear them folks dying of old age. You don't hear about people killing them or kidnapping them. You notice that? You never hear of a Rothschild being kidnapped. So, well, I've talked about weather control. I mean, they've been able to control the weather since the 50s. Who is this? James Gant. What's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Operation Popeye is another one where in Vietnam they attacked the Ho Chi Minh Trail. So they made it rain. I mean, I give the example of Forrest Gump. Remember, Forrest Gump said it would rain to the left, it would rain to the right, it would rain upside down, sideways. I mean, it's known that they forcibly made it rain on the Ho Chi Minh Trail in Vietnam. They admitted. I think it's called Operation Popeye. They first broke the weather, I think, in the 50s. They flooded the town out in the 50s. And let's not forget Woodstock. They made it rain on purpose on Woodstock. They were trying to, Woodstock became 500,000 people overnight. It was one of the biggest cities in the country overnight. So they definitely, and nothing but young folks. So they definitely wanted to discourage that. And despite them storming on them for a day, the people weren't discouraged and the people stayed. So they always have the top stuff, especially the Oppenheimers, the Illuminati family that runs the U.S. military. Yeah, of course. I mean, the internet is for the military, and there's a level of the internet that they communicate on that we don't. I mean, the super fast stuff, our stuff is fast enough, but I mean, the way they communicate and everything, their phones and everything is more advanced than ours. The alarms, the protection, everything that they have is way more advanced than our stuff. I mean, they couldn't exist without it. Yeah, and the same, probably to a point, the same thing with government people. They have so much. Now, I imagine Congress people don't, but I imagine senators probably do, because they got 6-year terms with Congress people. They flipping every 2 years. So I don't imagine they give that technology to them, even though Congress, shows where the money goes. But again, it goes all into, the illusion of what does it all mean to you and how you handle it. What is your role in getting through this matrix? What do you do to get through it? That's what it boils down to. How do you survive it? How do you manipulate it? How do you move through it? I mean, how many out there are just joyful and really can feel bliss? That's the beautiful thing about love, is you find bliss just being around somebody. That's the beautiful thing about loving an animal. There's a bliss there you can have. When you have your children and they just do little things, it's just a blissful feeling. Even when they become adults, you can still get a blissful feeling from, whatever they're doing. Just talking to them, just being around them. And I think it's too little of that. People just don't feel good. They have too many worries, and so they don't feel good about who they are and what they are. Now, no knock on black women, but black women really don't know what they are anymore. I mean, it's funny how the hairstyle for women has turned back into the wigs of the 60s. When you see Diana, the Supremes, Diana Ross, the Supremes, you see all the sisters in the 60s, they all wore wigs. Now, what happened when it came to the late 60s going into the 70s? It was the opposite. Everybody had natural hair, even the women. It was rare to see a girl have her hair pressed and, pressed. That didn't come until the 80s. And even in the 80s, their hair was whipped. I mean, European women is the ones, movies been using extensions and that kind of stuff. That's where extensions come from, in the wig hat or the hair weave thing, but the hair cap. And it's funny when you see young women on Instagram and Facebook and they're touching the fake hair, like it's such an illusion. It's like you only feel beauty because you have that fake hair on. You only feel beauty if you got fake boobs and put stuff in your butt. It's like almost self-hate if you really look at it. You only feel good unless you got these rakes on your eyes, caked face, that when you take all that cake off, you look nothing like that cake looks. And I think, athletes are kind of forced into choosing women like that because that keeps that going. When you see an athlete with a woman that looks not plain. But if you look at the richer athletes, like even Tom Brady had a model chick. She ain't have all that bullshit on. She was one of the top models in the world. She ain't wearing a bunch of that bullshit. I was listening to an African woman say she don't even leave her house without a wig on. So why is it in Africa they want to look like American European women? Not to say sisters can't have, regular long hair too, but mostly it's trying to look like Europeans. Now the baby hair added, that's the sister thing, but the hairstyle is European hairstyle for women. And that's the only way to look beautiful. Like my wife has just natural. She quit processing her hair and all that. It's just natural. But it only seems like there's one standard of beauty now. That's pushed out there. And that's why I think these athletes, they're forced to pass these women around. And probably forced to get them pregnant too. I think some kind of way, like, we'll pay for the baby. Because they want all these super hybrid athletes to control, That's why you're seeing more and more children into the leagues. Like I was reading with Dub Jones. Dub Jones, he had a son named Bert that played pro football. Kyle Roy Jr. played soccer, professional soccer. So it's like sisters just don't, you get the impression they don't love themselves. They have so much self-hate that they don't believe that their natural way of looking is desirable. And my other argument with women too is like now these women are all virtuous. But when you was younger, you was hoes. And you got 2-3 children. And now you're talking about, well, I'm going to be celibate for a year. And why wasn't you like that when you was younger? Why couldn't you be celibate then? Well, what changed that much? So you couldn't be celibate then. You're a grandmother in your 30s. I don't know. I got to go, though. Oh, it's funny that BW women be tripping about black women, be tripping about black men dating white women while wearing their hair like white women. That's right. Stokely Carmichael will say, sister, it's a temporary, not a perm. It's temporary, not a perm. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, and it's almost, go a step further. It's almost like the drag queen look is what they're getting is almost to look like drag queens. It gets so ridiculous. That's why, like, it's like I don't even look at young women and be attracted to them. Just the way they look now, it's like, man, I'm glad I'm not young. If that's all I got to look forward to is somebody with a weave that, when they sleep at night, they got to wear a bonnet. Then the next day, they got to put it back on. The funniest shit is the broke girls where, the shit gets itching. That shit. I watched one woman in the store, and I told this story before. I timed it. Every 3 minutes, she was patting one side of her head or the other. It was itching so bad. She kept. And, it becomes where they don't even know they're doing it. It's just to them, it's itching, so that's what they got to do. The shit was itching her so bad, so it must have been old or something. It was itching the shit out of her scalp, so she kept. It was like every 2 minutes she would smack her head. I was like, is it really worth it? And so, we see a lot of people are forced into situations. Again, I think athletes are pushed to like these type of girls to keep that idea going of that standard of beauty. And so it went from, really, pushing them into being with European women into being, well, you can be with these other women, but they got to look like this. Because that's why you see the same dudes pass around the same women. It's almost like, kind of like, the Kardashians were, they were women that, ritual, you get with these women like in ritual almost. So, well, I do got to go, y'all. I'll be back on Wednesday night. And sorry I didn't come on Halloween. I was just feeling groovy, baby. Feeling groovy and didn't feel like broadcasting. So thank you for the questions and everything. The born again virgin illusion. I like that. I definitely like that. That is really real. The born again virgin illusion. That's kind of what it is. That's kind of what it is. Well, I know I was a hoe then and I was, but now, okay, now. Well,